as we take a look at the grid for race number 2 of the 2016 Aussie Racing Car Super Series. Woods and Pingle on the front row. James Duckworth, third position yesterday, is joined by Ben Walsh, Adam Ubergang and Kyle Clues. Blake Scaberis is next on the 7 machine with Chris Stevenson. Grant Ludby, good job yesterday, and Brendan Tucker got himself up to a top 10 result there in car number 4. Luke Fraser, Adam Kasukio is in 12th position. Karen Pridmore, Glenn McNamara, Grant Thompson, down to Michael Rinken inside the top 20. Jeff Waters back there in 18th. Miles Bond and Paul Faber back there in 19 and 20. Bond had brake issues with that car, the number 7 machine yesterday. Zach Best, 14 years of age inside the field this weekend alongside Ben Wilcox. 2 rookies on that row. Lee and Ruth Bowler on the next row. Towards the back of the field, a heap of rookies this weekend, nearly 10 in total. David Sultana, Greg Thompson and Reece Chapman hopefully repaired the 25 car that he shares with Chad Chapman.
That's amazing. I remember coming to Adelaide when I was 14, but it was to watch the F1, not to race anything.
We'll be senior citizens and they're going to think like that. Man. Interviewed him yesterday, karting star as most of these drivers are. And you look at someone like Kel Tressiter, who's 31. Making his debut really full-time this year. He joined us at Sydney Olympic Park last year and finished 6th in the final race there. He's going to have to do a fair bit of work through the field for this one. 8 laps, shortened yesterday due to the safety car. Only 4 laps in the books. Hopefully we keep it clean and green. I think I've spoken too soon.
Well, most importantly in any race here, you've got to be able to get through that first lap. And as we've seen in the past, look, the Aussie race cars, they're always exciting, they're always spectacular, but it's going to be getting through that first chicane. These guys are going to sort of get the elbows out early on, but you've got to be able to get through that. It's the old thing, you can't win the race on the first lap, but certainly a lot of people will try, and hopefully we don't see that here today.
That approach to turn 1, it's 260 metres from the start line, probably further for the guys back, but it's like a funnel down there, isn't it?
It is, and as you said before, these guys, they're going to arrive there 4 and 5 wide, and you can't get through there that wide, so it's going to be interesting.
So green flag is waved to the back. We're set for race number 2, round 1 of the 2016 Aussie Racing Car Super Series. Great start from the front row. Brendan Pingle got the better of the starts here, and he will lead us down to the centre chicane. Slots himself in nicely as they try to take the better line and stain off those really aggressive curbs.
Nice to see everyone giving each other a bit of racing room, and that's the important thing. You've got to give some racing room through these first couple of corners. Everyone's obviously wanting to sort of push on with the race, but it's these opening laps that really sort of are the important ones.
Far more sedate compared to yesterday. One car going up the escape road there at the top of Wakefield Street as Pingle leads us up to turn number 5 and 6 and a run down into Bartels Road. On the shortened circuit here, the Grand Prix circuit runs straight past our cameraman at this point. Work on the Bartels Road. So Pingle, Woods, Walsh, Duckworth and Ubergang, the top 5 as we let the cars filter through. And look, the top 8 just disappearing down Bartels Road on lap 1.
These guys are really looking for the slipstream effect down these long straights. Turn 8 for these guys is absolutely flat out. And Pingle's doing a great job of getting out of there. This opening lap is going to be key for him to try and sort of break that toe. Big desperate move down the inside there.
Oh, we spoke too soon, didn't we? This one, the Western Sydney Motorsport entries. The 68 has gone around of Blake Scaberis, who was challenging for 6th then, is going to find himself probably back in 26 by the time the traffic go past. What a shame. Desperate stuff on the first lap.
These first 3 guys have checked out.
Pingle in red-hot form last year, and that's why he carries the number 1. He took it off Darren Chamberlain for this season. Here's Trent Young. We're going to keep an eye on where he is in the field. He's up to 15th position. So keep an eye on the 42 machine. We're right on board with him now.
He's going to have some great onboard vision of this opening lap to go from the rear of the grid to P15 on that opening lap. That's a great effort by him. And as we saw in qualifying, he's certainly got the speed, and he'll get back to the front by the final race come Sunday morning.
Wild moment for Pingle. Got the car really out of shape, hitting the curb in the centre chicane. He leads from Woods, Walsh and Duckworth. Having a great run. The RDA brakes number 10, new livery for that car in 2016.
These cars are so exciting to watch around here. Street circuits are always very bumpy. The curbs are very aggressive. And you watch, especially through that first chicane, as we saw just then, how sort of spectacular these cars. It's amazing that they can still hang on to them.
Man, I'm surprised they don't do more damage to them. They're stiff enough as it is. And those curbs look like motocross jumps when they go through these corners. This would be a wild old ride in one of these cars. 200 k's an hour the approach.
It's any car through turn 8 certainly gets your attention. These guys, having a chat to some of them, turn 8's not too bad a corner for these guys. It's completely flat, and obviously then trying to set themselves up for a run down into...
Watch Young He's left everyone standing. He's out of here. So see you, boys. I'm heading to the podium. He's going to split these guys and make it 4 wide before he got to the start line. I reckon that was 8 cars at least.
That's got to be some kind of record.
I remember Les May in a supercart here doing that many, many years ago. He made up about 15 spots before he got to the chicane. So he's working his way through the field now. He's up to 13th place behind Casuccio, Bond and Pridmore, who are ahead. Replay of what happened down at the bottom with Skiberis, and he almost took Duckworth around with him. Yeah,
it's tricky down there into turn 9. You sort of get a run on someone, you go to the inside, but it's also the dirty side of the track, and as you can see, he really just struggled to pull it up. And look, thankfully, the victim in it was the person that actually had the big lockup.
How much vision do you have when you're in these cars? I mean, not in this car specifically, but like in a bigger car, you're not always looking at the mirrors in the corner. You're committed to that turn.
Yeah, look, it's really hard because obviously, again, street circuits, you're so busy out there, but into those bigger braking areas, you've really got to try and have a look in your mirrors, because in situations like that, you get someone come firing down the inside. You don't want to become an innocent victim in someone else's mistake. No one intentionally goes out there to take each other out, but we've seen it in the past, and like we just saw there, people do make mistakes.
Here's Kyle Clues coming through the centre chicane. He was doomed before he got there, wasn't he?
Missed the turn in on the way in. At least he had the presence of mind to straighten it up and try and sort of attack and go straight over there. But you can see he's in for a wild ride. Land sideways, and that is...
Oh, man.
Buy yourself a lottery ticket, I reckon.
That's incredible. I mean, this guy's a former champ. He's the most successful guy here on the streets of Adelaide in Aussie racing cars. And only a guy of his ability kept that car off the wall.
We've seen so many people come to grief through that first chicane already this weekend, and you'll see it over the rest of the weekend, because you miss the turn in like that, and that secondary curve really unsettles the car. And look, for someone like Kyle, he's obviously got the experience to not panic, but as you can see, it's obviously had some kind of net effect on the car, because that thing's not going to take part in this race anymore.
That was almost game over before. It certainly will be now for the 17 machine as we go back to the leaders through the centre chicane, halfway home in race 2 of the Aussie Racing Car Super Series. Pingle from Woods, from Walsh, Duckworth and Adam Ubergang inside the top 5.
It's so rare for these Aussie race cars to see them spread out like this. These guys are kind of like the Moto 3 of motorbikes.
Yeah, exactly.
They're always sort of gaggled together and using that slipstream effect. But look, full credit to Pingle. He's done a great job so far in this race. He sort of put his head down on that opening lap, trying to sort of stretch that advantage, because if you can break that toe early on in the race, it's really hard for those guys to sort of catch back up. And so for him, it's all about putting clean and consistent laps together to get away. Like
this guy's doing. Trent Young inside the top 10 now. What an effort. The man that got his second pole position in succession here on Thursday, just giving everyone a wave heading down here, putting on an absolute clinic in race 2.
That's 29 positions in 4 laps.
Pretty impressive stuff. Oh. We both stopped breathing for a second. I'm sure he did too, just touching that curb on the inside and the hard brake down to the Kettleville hairpin. These are everyday roads we use in Adelaide. This is the part of the circuit that brings you into the old racecourse section. And much more downhill, isn't it, through here?
It certainly is, and you can see that the times that he's doing out there, he's certainly one of the quickest guys out there, and that's what's enabled him to sort of get back well inside that top 10. So this is a huge drive from him to make up for the disappointment of yesterday.
Luke Fraser is ahead of him there. Ludby's moved up to 6th position now. Strong showing for him in car number 30. Uh-oh.
I think we've spoken too soon. We've put the commentator's curse on him.
Oh, what a shame.
It seems like I noticed down into turn 9 that he was having troubles on the downshift.
It's the rear.
Yeah, something's gone amiss there. Terrible luck for him. He was on doing such a great job, and to sort of push so hard and to have bad luck again. Something in the left rear seems to have let go.
Let's keep an eye on this, heading up to the top of the Adelaide hairpin, and look, yeah, we're on board at that point. And is this the same drama as yesterday?
It's really sitting down on that left rear, so I'd say whatever the drama was yesterday, it hasn't been completely fixed, and it's come back to haunt them again today. So terrible luck for Trent and the entire team there.
Oh, and it shows you those curves. When you hit them, they just launch these cars up and down. That was the 78 machine finding the outside of turn number 9 of Grant Thompson. Get back to live shots, heading to turn 7. Lap 5 of 8, just starting to turn the tempo up a bit here in race number 2. Action further back in the field of this 37-car Aussie racing car field this weekend.
It's good to see those guys giving each other some racing room. You can see there they managed to go quite easily too wide through there. The guy on the outside didn't turn in and go across the nose of the car in front. That's smart racing by these guys.
So far, we've been pretty much drama-free. Hope I haven't spoken too soon. This Battle of the 28 machine. This is outside the top 15. On the run behind the back of the pit area here. Here's Pingle hitting the curbs again, and now this has given Woods a great chance to get on the back of the Spirit of Lockyer Valley entry on the run up to the top of Wakefield Street.
I spoke about earlier about Pingle obviously wanting to sort of get away, but Woods has done a great job of getting back onto the tail of him. And it's one of those things, once you can get onto the tail of the car in front, it's about then trying to sort of force them into a mistake. It's easier to be the car behind because you've just got to just sit there and wait for the mistake, hopefully from the car in front. So he's going to try and really put the pressure on here. He doesn't need to do anything silly. Just sit here, pick up the toe on the back straight. If he can have a look down into turn 9, he certainly will. He's close enough to pick up the draft here. So what he's basically looking for, you can see him there trying to get into the draft of Pingle's car because the second car isn't having to push that air out of the way. So effectively, he's going to be able to go faster along the straight there. Will he have a look down here into turn 9? Maybe, maybe not.
Phantom look, wasn't it?
But this is all about just setting him up. He's just letting him know that he's there. Just move the car around, get the guy in front looking in the mirrors. The more time they can spend looking in the mirrors, they're not thinking about what they're doing, and that's how you drive someone into a mistake.
Pingle's a two-time winner here on the streets of Adelaide, carrying car number 1 this year. Woods looking for his second win in succession after picking it up last night in race number 1. 2 more to come over the course of this Clipsal 500 weekend. 2 to go. Woods in the box seat here.
Pingle seems to be a little bit stronger. Someone's had a spin through turn 8.
It's a 78 again. It's gone around. And that's Grant Thompson. Did he have a big moment going through turn 8? He's out of harm's way on the inside of Decatable Terrace.
Anytime you can have a moment through turn 8 and keep going. It was a replay.
Oh. And right in front of traffic.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think it was probably a more scary moment for the guys behind.
Oh, man.
To come through turn 8 and see someone sideways across the road like that is not something that anyone wants to see, but it's great to see that everyone was able to keep going.
That corner's become a lot tighter over the years. You raced it in its initial years when it was a really high speed but very dangerous corner at the time.
Yeah, it was. Look, a lot of effort's been gone into trying to improve the safety of turn 8 there. You can see the leaders are starting to come up onto lap traffic, and this is really going to sort of play out in the results here. Obviously for Pingle, he wants to be able to get through the traffic, and again, it's one of those things. Usually the first car onto the traffic is the one that gets held up and balked. Here we see Woods again. Pingle covering the inside. Woods is just letting him know that he's there. This is all he's gonna be setting himself up for that last lap of the race to have a look down the inside.
Meantime, it's on for 3rd and 4th position here too between Duckworth and Walsh. So 1st and 2nd are battling. 3rd and 4th are doing the same thing as we come up to start the final lap in race 2. Look at Walsh all over the back of Duckworth in the background of that shot. The sweeping right-hander to the top.
Will he have a look down the inside here? Yep, there he goes. Nice move.
Switchback coming, you think?
Oh, probably not, but now the pressure's on because
checkered flag has come out in front of us right there, so it's caught us 1 lap early, and Pingle is going to pick up the win. So we've gone 1 lap shorter in that race, and Walsh will get 3rd in all of that. Caught us 1 lap early, but what a big moment for the defending champion, the Spirit of Lockyer Valley entry. It's been a sad couple of weeks for this team in the lead up to this event. The mayor of the Lockyer Valley, Steve Jones, sadly passed away last Friday evening. I'm sure the team will dedicate that win here today. 2 hands out, that's pretty much the standard victory salute by Brendan Pingle. It went 1 lap early, but he picks up the win here in race number 2. Woods 2nd, Walsh in 3rd, Duckworth in 4th. That took the wind out of our sails, didn't it?
It certainly did. Obviously, it would have been disappointing for Craig Woods to miss out on that last lap, but certainly a great result for Brendan Pingle.
So he picks it up by nearly 4/10 of a second. Walsh was 3rd, Duckworth 4th, then Adam Ubergang. Grant Ludby, another solid effort to finish in 6th. Then it was Fraser. Miles Bond inside the top 10. Back to Tucker. David Sultana in 13th. Harley Haber 14th from the back of the field. Sam Melton in 16th. Scott Stevenson finishes in 20th. Then the 2 Thompsons ahead of Paul Faber, Michael Rinken, Lee Bowler, down to Reece Chapman in 30th place. Then Matty Lynch, Scott Hookey and Trent Young.